everybody, and welcome back to another video. So, today I'm going to be discussing one of the most controversial Wings of Fire ships, and it certainly is a pretty good talking point. While debate is inevitably present in any kind of relationship situation, I'm not diving into couples you normally see argued about. We all know the love triangles. Rather, I want to focus on a ship that has some fans hooked, creating lots of their own content about it, but has others not so enthused. What dragon pairing am I referring to? It's time to break down the relationship between Turtle and Kinkajou. Why is it so beloved in some groups and hated in others? I'll be going into all of that and more, including what I think could have saved this for mostly everyone. There's tons to discuss. But before we begin, a huge shout out to my patrons. Darkler95, Thistle, Noobto, Pyronuke, Avril, Pancake, Escarada, Adequin, Alex Cleaver, Shadowhunter, That One Seeming, Moonclaw, Isaac, Iris, Minecraft Was 9, Bentala Resident, and Horizon the Furwing. Thank you all so much for supporting me. Links to their social medias are in the description down below. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video. Turtle and Kinkajou was definitely a pairing I didn't see coming when I first started the arc, due to how dissimilar both characters are to one another. Turtle prefers to stay out of the spotlight now, whereas Kinkajou basks in it. She's hyper, and he's either calm or anxious. So when Tui started pitching these two dragons as a potential couple in escaping peril, I admittedly had my doubts. It seemed pretty random, but would only grow more focused on as the arc progressed. By the time of Turtle's book, we learned everything about his crush on that excitable Rainwing Dragonette. But these two characters being opposites isn't really a deterring factor. Lots of great couples work out that way. So, what is it that still has many fans to this day not very thrilled with the concept? Well, that lies in how a lot of the romantic tension ultimately forms, and that's through a love spell. Anemone correctly clocks Turtle's crush on Kinkajou, and without permission, uses her magic. While waking Kinkajou from her coma, Anemone slips in the fact that she'll now be just as in love with Turtle as he is with her. The seeming prince hates this immediately, upset his sister would do something like that and manipulate somebody's feelings. Love needs to come naturally, and it's so unethical to mess with that. It dives into dangerous territory. With no way to reverse the spell for a while, Turtle continues the novel with Kinkajou by his side. Only, as he first observes, she doesn't behave all that differently. Sure, she ends up far more openly flustered, and by Turtle's side longer, but she's still Kinkajou. Turtle wonders if that holds any meaning, curious whether she may have had feelings from him to begin with. However, with magic involved, the seeming is unable to come to any real conclusions at all. He felt as though he lost his chance to establish a real connection with her. Eventually, the spell is lifted, and Turtle doesn't tell Kinkajou about it for quite some time. When she does find out, it gets confusing for her. Turtle says his feelings are still there, but reassures his crush that she never has to return those emotions. Kinkajou thinks on it, saying how she doesn't know exactly how she feels. It's weird when you're enchanted that way, so she needs time to dwell on everything before making any moves. However, she finds Turtle adorable and doesn't stop spending time with him, even remaining openly affectionate. That's where these two have left things off. There's the chance for a relationship, but nothing is set in stone. Kinkajou needs time, and that is incredibly valid. Anyone would. When all of this happened, readers went one of two ways. Some fell in love with such a cute, awkward, and opposite pairing. And I will say, I do think they have potential when it comes to their dynamic in that way. But on the other hand, a good amount of readers hated this plot. They find the entire relationship uncomfortable due to the love spell, which is understandable too. It leaves us all really wondering what was authentic and what was manufactured by magic. Do I think Turtle Jew is ever going to properly go anywhere? Not really. This is probably Tui's way of satisfying everyone. If you want to interpret that they get together someday, you can. But if it's not your cup of tea at all, you can avoid it. A lot of people have. And that's okay. This ship is complicated, to say the least. The same goes for nearly all of them in the books. It ultimately leaves things up to you. Are you a fan of Turtle Jew, or does the once love spell just totally throw you off? How might you have fixed this? Let me know down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.